What is going on, guys? I am here today to bring you the three most important things that you need to remember when playing Arena in Axie Infinity. The first one is counting your opponent's cards and energy, the second one is looking for key cards in the matchup, and the third one is to understand and know how you can win every single match. So let's take a deep look at every single one of those topics. So the first thing we need to know about counting energy is that both players start with 3 energy and they gain 2 energy every single turn. And it is very important that you see what cards your opponent is playing and what their cost is, because that will allow you to plan and to know how much stuff your opponent can do at every single turn. About the card draw, both players start with 6 cards in their hand and they draw 3 cards every single turn. Aside from that, there's a counter in the top right corner of the game that shows you how many cards in hand your opponent had at the beginning of the previous turn. And that's very important because, as you can see here, we know that our opponent's playing all of his cards. Now because he played 6 cards, we know that he only has 3 cards in hand. So it doesn't really matter how much energy he has, he can only play 3 cards. And as you can see here, the counter shows that he had 3 cards in the last turn. Now the second thing I mentioned is that you should look for specific key cards, and the best example I can give right here is Pumpkin or October Tree, which is 110 shield. Now you typically don't want to attack into a plant until you have seen at least one pumpkin being played, because it's a lot of shield and it's gonna pretty much neutralize one of your Axie's attack. The other reason why we should keep track of these cards is because our deck is made of 2 copies of every single card. And if our opponent plays double pumpkin in round 1, they are going to the discard pile, which means that our opponent won't be able to draw another pumpkin until he has drawn the rest of his deck. And that should only happen at around round 5 or 6, depending on how the game goes. The last thing is to understand how to win the matchups, and that has a lot to do with the class advantages and weaknesses in Axie Infinity. As we can see, beasts, bugs, and mechs have a 15% advantage on their damage against reptiles, plants, and dusks, which have 15% advantage against aquatic Axies, bird Axies, or dawn Axies, which therefore have 15% advantage against beasts, bugs, and mechs. Besides the class advantage, which will determine whether you should have a more aggressive or defensive stance in the matchup, you should always look out for what the opponent's plan is. Is he a very aggressive team? Can he put poison on all of my Axies? Can he attack my fastest Axie? And that's the kind of stuff that will determine your potential to win more arena matches. Alright, so let's see how all that stuff translates into action. Looking for a match here, we already found one. It's a plant, an aqua, and a reptile. A very similar team to mine. He has the plant up front with Sirius, Cactus, Pumpkin for a ton of shield, and Hotbud for a lot of damage. The aqua with mixed beast parts on Sugar Rush, which is Paki on the horn, and Nitro Leap. Risky Fish also helps with the damage, and Nemo. And a Tri-Spikes Reptile with Gravelant on the tail. Now, the first thing I'm thinking here is that I don't want to end up in the 1v1 against this reptile, which has Gravelant. So, because it disables most of my cards, I don't want to give him the chance to take advantage of that. So I'm going to be very aggressive here. I'm going to play the Cactus turn 1. Also because I'm afraid of playing in the next round because of Tri-Spikes, but our opponent decided to go all-out damage as well and spends all of his free energy here. I'm gonna get some damage through with our plant. That's pretty good. Now our opponent had only 2 energy, and if you raise some shield, he's not gonna be able to do that. So the reason counted energy is important because now we know it's safe to play 10 cards. Whether if our opponent had like 5 or 4 energy, it wouldn't be safe to play 10 cards. So we are going to go for the steal here as well. And I'm going to hold off on the damage because I haven't seen Pumpkin. So I'm just going to go for the steal, lift up some shield. trying to avoid him getting the kill too early here. He just passes, which is why I played the steal. So he was at 2 energy, we stole 1 from him, so now he's at 1, and he gains 2 every turn. So he's gonna be at 3 energy. And what we're gonna do here, if we play this, is 30, 220 mais 350, 350. So this is gonna be enough if he doesn't play any shield. Now I'm probably thinking that he's gonna go for shield, but he could also go for small tri-spikes here. So I'm not very interested in playing any plant cards because he could tri-spikes and like chomp my reptile, which would be very awful. So I'm gonna play this Kataro because it's kind of a hedge between him playing some shield, I can complement the damage, and if he doesn't, I just get the Kataro through to his Aqua. Looks like he played the tri-spikes, exactly what we were waiting for, and that's pretty good because it's gonna hit our tank and it's not even gonna get the kill. He goes for Chomp Chomp and Disarm, so that's definitely gonna get the kill. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that was all of his energy though. And now he's only gonna be at 2 energy, which is a very good position for us to be in. Our Aqua attacks first, so we can definitely go for something like Scarab, Disarm, and Allergic. That's gonna be something like 350 damage, 360 kind of. And even if he plays 2 cards, we should probably get the kill. So that's why I'm doing this, because we most likely are going to get the kill here, considering he has only 2 energy. Now in a very good spot. The main thing that we need to watch out for is the tri-spikes here. So we definitely don't want to play any Aqua cards. That's a very good draw, because now we can actually play Aqua cards and those 2 cards, because the way Tri-Spikes works is the same card as my Axie. It attacks the target with lowest shield. So if I only play Aqua cards, the Tri-Spikes is going to hit my Reptile. And because Reptiles have advantage against Aquas, if he killed my Reptile here, I would be in a very bad situation. So I definitely want to keep my Reptile alive, but because of my amazing card draw, I can manage to do that and also play an Aqua card. So that's the right play. He's probably going to try to Tri-Spikes here, because it's pretty much the only way he can win. So all we need to do is make sure that we don't screw up here. And he's going to get the kill on our Aqua, which is very good, because now we're only going to draw Reptile cards. And that's pretty much going to be game, because we are going to attack first, because we play Disarm, which is going to slow our opponent down. And now we can just go all out damage. He has basically 0 energy left. Again, we get a very bad draw, but it's probably going to be enough, considering that he doesn't have energy to put up enough shield to survive. So it's gonna be game. GG. And let's go. He goes into the last stand, but it's not gonna do anything. GG. Let's go, guys. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Counting the opponent's energy is a very important thing. You need to know how much stuff you can do. You also need to pay attention to specific cards, like Tri-Spikes, for example, and know when the opponent's probably going to try to do something like that. But yeah, pay attention to those things, and I'm sure you're going to raise your level quite significantly on the Axie Infinity Arena. I'll see you in the next one.